Superpowers for good shape in the fate. Investors and dreamers open the gate. Supercross stands loud, proud and true, building tomorrow for me and you.
I am so excited, folks. Welcome to the Superpowers for Good show. Today we've got with us Jannice Newson, who is the CEO and founder of a new company. And we're going to be talking about some things that are totally new to me. And I think you're going to enjoy learning more about Lillian Augusta Beauty from Jannice. So, Jannice, welcome. We're thrilled to have you.
Hey.
Jannice, I have to confess, right, that when we talk about braids, we're talking about a place where I have not been. And so I need to really be educated. But Lillian Augusta Beauty is creating braids for people in your community. Is that right? That's the fundamental thing?
Well, we're not just making braids, Devin. We are making hair without harm. So, as you said, you're unfamiliar with braids, but that is okay because we will break it down like a fraction for you and bring you into the wonderful world of hair without harm that is brought to you by Lillian Augusta Beauty. Hello, everyone. My name is Jannice Newson. I am CEO and founder of Lillian Augusta Beauty, where we are making plant-based braiding hair. Let me say that again. We make hair from plants. And essentially, we are offering a sustainable alternative to synthetic braiding hair. So when people typically get styles like the one I have here, they will use a hair extension called synthetic braiding hair. Unfortunately, synthetic braiding hair is made of a low grade of plastic. It worsens traction alopecia. It results in allergic reactions. It leaves scrapes on your hairstylist's hands. And then once you're done and you take down your hair, you have a pile of plastic sitting in front of you. At Lillian Augusta Beauty, we say no to all of that. You shouldn't have to get an allergic reaction from a hairstyle. You shouldn't have to worsen any sort of traction alopecia that you're dealing with. And you shouldn't have to create plastic pollution when you're done with your braids. So we are offering something that is certified hypoallergenic. It is ultra lightweight, and it is a compostable plant-based option.
This is really, really cool. And I'm just thrilled at what you're doing. I wonder, I think part of what is important here is a little bit of context. You're like the real deal. You're not a pretender, an interloper. What am I trying to say? You are super well educated. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got here to this place.
For sure. So I didn't just stumble or happen upon this plant-based hair or this hair without harm. This has been in the works for some time, even without me knowing. So I have a background in environmental science. My degrees are in environmental science and ecology. I got into environmental science because back when I was in high school, I did an internship for students in Chicago public schools that was intended to expose public school students to environmental science. So they put you on the bus and they take you on out to the Botanic Garden. And once I got out there and I said, oh, you can get paid for frolicking in the grass. This is my career path now. So after high school, I majored in environmental science. I went on to do my master's at the University of Michigan in ecology. And while I was there, that's where I started Lillian Augusta Beauty.
That's amazing. That's amazing. It's and this is really, really important. As we think about trying to address, climate issues and environmental issues, we have to eventually deal with everything. And this is a thing, right? We have to deal with this too, right?
Yes. So this is certainly our contribution to the pieces of the puzzle in solving the pressing environmental issues of today. And one of them is plastic pollution. Synthetic braiding hair results in about 98 million pounds of plastic just in the US each year. And this is a product that's used globally. So if you accounted for other countries, that number would likely grow exponentially. And folks have not had any sort of solution to their issue. Not only has it been harming us while we're using it, where we're getting allergic reactions, we're dealing with our hair falling out, but we also are dealing with waste, and we don't have any other options out there until now, where we're able to offer something that is much more comfortable, not only for the client who's wearing the hair, but for the hairstylist who is installing the hair, but also better for the environment. And this has been created with the community in mind. At Lillian Augusta Beauty, our mission is to listen to data, but also to listen to stories to solve the pressing community needs of today. I started this at the University of Michigan in a fiber studio on campus. I quite literally had garden shears, was going around on campus, cutting down plants, making really bad looking versions of this, right? But through that experimentation, was able to get to what we have today. I was working on campus. COVID started because I was a student that graduated in 2020. So I started making the hair in my basement, which was an absolute mess. I had plants stacked ceiling high, I had water everywhere, there was dust everywhere. But I was motivated to create this hair without harm, not just for myself so I can wear braids, but my nieces wear this hair, my friends wear this hair, and all the other people out there who wear braids who don't need to suffer unnecessarily.
I think it is a really cool and important thing that you're doing. And I reflect back on, I'm a finance guy, I got 2 degrees in finance and such. But I think back oftentimes to the most influential class I ever took in my life, and it was an ecology class that I was sort of forced to take right before graduation because I didn't have enough science credits. And it has become almost a defining part of my life. I find it interesting. So I'm grateful that you are leading the way and doing this stuff. One of the things that you're doing right now is a crowdfunding campaign. You're raising some capital. Tell us a little bit about how people can learn more about your crowdfunding campaign.
Certainly. So, as I mentioned, synthetic braiding hair has been what people have used for decades, for lack of a better option. So, there wasn't much precedent out there on how to make a plant-based braiding hair, right? There may be something here and there, but not something that has really come into the market and really served people in a way that they can easily access this hair and utilize it and incorporate it into their hair routines. So it took a lot of money to get this going. I started as a student. Thankfully, I was able to get grants from the University of Michigan. But today we are fundraising to support our launch, which we just launched on July 18th. And we are using our crowdfunding campaign to support this launch. We are on the WeFunder platform. We are using revenue-based financing. So do check us out at wefunder.com/Lillian.Augusta. Our campaign is open. We are halfway towards our goal, and we certainly would love to have you all as one of our investors.
Oh, fantastic. Now, as you think about the prospects for your business, how big can this get? Is this a little niche product that a few people will use, or is this a big business potentially?
Well, braids are a staple. Braids can start early on, 5 years, and you may wear braids throughout your lifespan, all the way up until 80 years old. It's something that comes through regardless of how you usually style your hair, you'll incorporate braids either as a mainstay, as a vacation style, as a style during a transition in life. And braids are worn around the globe. They're worn here in the United States, but they're used all around the world. So this is not something that is for a few people, right? The Black hair care industry overall is a $2.5 billion industry here in the US, and braiding hair is just a start. False hair products in general all rely on synthetic materials or human hair. And what we're doing at Lab is offering a new way where you can have a premium hair product that's made to mimic the look and feel of human hair without any of the environmental issues that come from the plastic.
It really is, I think, commendable that you have created this, and you are such an effective communicator. I just love your ability and appreciate that you can explain this. Most of the entrepreneurs I have on the show aren't as good as you. So kudos. So thank you very much.
Thankfully, I'm talking all day, and that helps.
Yeah, you're good at this. So as you think about the market, so you say it's $2.5 billion for hair care. What part of that do you think you can tap into? What's the size of your business if you're really successful? Is this a $10 million business, a $50 million business, a $1 billion business? What do you think?
Well, when we're looking at Black hair care, we have the 2.5 billion, but as I mentioned, false hair products in general rely on synthetic and human hair. And false hair products is an $8 billion business globally. So we're getting started here now. We're capturing our Chicago audience and we're building up an established community for our brand. But we have our sights on being a pioneer for better options in hair care when that comes to braids, but not just braids, wigs, weaves, toupees, all of the false hair products that people rely on. And this certainly is a $100 million opportunity.
Well, it's really, really exciting to think about how big you could go with this, because it's just a cool thing. And I love when environmentally friendly, businesses can be really hugely successful. Really warms my heart. So I want to see you succeed. Well, listen, folks, I'm here with Jannice Newson today. She is the founder of a company that's making environmentally friendly, all natural, kind of vegan hair, and it's really really exciting. So, but we're going to take a short break here. When we come back, we're going to talk to Jannice about her superpowers. So stick around. You don't want to miss this.
You can get in on the ground floor to help fix the climate crisis for as little as $100. Pause now to scan the QR code to get started or visit s4g.biz/raisegreen. You can be a green at Raise Green.
Want to learn from the world's great change makers? Find your superpower. Subscribe to the Superpowers for Good newsletter at superpowersforgood.com. Make your strengths into superpowers that will change the world. Join the super crowd today. Superpowers4good.com.
Hope to raise money from the impact crowd. Good investors are as interested in community, social or environmental impact as you. Connect with Funding Hope, an SEC-registered FINRA member crowdfunding portal to learn how to raise capital from the impact crowd. Scan the QR code now.
Welcome back, everyone. We're so excited today. We've got with us Jannice Newson, who's the CEO and founder of a company making beautiful artificial hair and in an environmentally friendly way. This is great stuff. But we're going to shift gears now and talk to her about her superpower. So stick around. You don't want to miss this. Jannice, you have, you're super well educated. You're building a company. You're really doing some cool, impressive things. I love your focus on the environment. What do you see ultimately as your superpower?
I don't think anyone's ever asked me that question before. So that's certainly something interesting for me to consider. And I would say it's that I am a person of action. I'm all about making things happen. And the first instance I can think of that in my life is in my high school driver's ed class. I went to class and we were required to wear a lanyard to get participation points every day in this class. And I came without a lanyard. And the teacher said, well, you're not going to get any points when I came into class. And me being the perfectionist student I was, I said, I'm not going to leave out of here with no points. That's outrageous. So I went in my bag and I took some paper and some tape and some staples. And by the end of that class, I had a lanyard. I told her I made a lanyard. Here's my lanyard. My ID's on it. And I got my participation points. And I've carried this sort of attitude throughout my personal life, throughout growing my business, throughout my academic life, where I'm certainly determined to make things happen, looking for a way out of no way, taking nickels, turning them into quarters. And that is my superpower.
That is brilliant. I just love that. You're based there in Chicago, and there's an organization, a global organization, headquartered nearby in Evanston called Rotary International. I don't know if you know those folks, but they just, that's their tagline, or one of their taglines is "People of Action." So I'm reminded of that tagline, and as a member of the organization, I feel a connection to the idea that you're sharing. But so I love it. As you think about that superpower, I wonder if you can think of an example of how you have used that superpower in your work in getting this company off the ground. What do you think? Can you think of an example of something where that came into play?
Oh, Lillian Augusta Beauty is all about person of action throughout, just from the onset, with wanting to make this hair and saying, well, I need to make it myself. So that started with those garden shears that I mentioned a little earlier, cutting down plants on campus. And my co-founder and I, we brought them back to the fiber studio and started making this hair ourselves. And I can tell you, that first prototype, you probably would have said, Jannice, all you did was twist some twigs together. But I thought it was the future. I thought it was beautiful and that people would wear it. People wouldn't have worn it. But that was the beginning, and keeping that action going to make another version, right? And continue. School shuts down. Let's make it in the basement, right? Let's set up a hand fiber line and make hair in the basement. We're making one braid an hour, but we're learning, right? And it's looking better. And coming up with solutions for fundraising, right? Seeking out grants to keep the business moving forward, keep the research and development in progress, even especially looking for funding in unexpected places. For example, for the Chicago folks, we have a plant-based festival coming up September 28th in Woodlawn, and that is funded by the Regional Transportation Authority. Jannice, why is the Transportation Authority funding the Hair Businesses Festival? Because we're people of action and we find things in unexpected places.
I love it. I love it. What a great example of being a person of action. I just love it. You're really good at this, right? You've convinced me. It's genuine, it's authentic, it's real, it's powerful. How would you coach us to become more like you in this way? How can we become people of action like Jannice?
It certainly takes courage, right? You have to have the courage to fail, because I had to have the courage to make that first prototype that looked like twigs. I had to have the courage to apply to 100 grants. I certainly didn't win 100 grants, but I put my name out there 100 times and I won some of them. So continuing to have the courage to apply yourself to begin with, let someone else tell you no, right? Don't tell yourself no. Give yourself a chance, and also be open to the criticism to get you to yes.
I think that's really great advice. Great advice. And I think it's just so important for us to build on that. Any other tips for becoming more action oriented like you?
Well, when people ask me, Jannice, how did you start that business? Why did you get started? What if I want to do that? How do I get started? Where do I go? I tell people you need to complain more, because that is why I started Lillian Augusta Beauty. I didn't have some long-term dream to become an entrepreneur. I wanted to go study mangroves in the Caribbean. That was my plan, but this was more important, and this became my passion. But it came from me complaining. It came from me complaining about my allergic reactions to wearing synthetic hair. It came from me complaining about my skin breaking out and my hair feeling the heaviness of the plastic pulling down the waist after it's done with my hairstyle. So maybe there's something out there that's bothering you and you're not complaining about it and looking for a solution. Continue to complain, the solutions will follow.
I think that's brilliant. That's brilliant. I want to be like you, Jannice. I want to be like you. So I'm gonna take some time to ponder how I can be a little more action oriented. I wouldn't have thought about complaining as being a key step in my personal development, but I'm gonna see if I can't make a little constructive complaining part of my routine. Listen, as we begin to wrap up here, I wonder if you would take a minute or two and tell people how they can learn more about Lillian Augusta Beauty, how they can get some hair, right? How they can connect with you, maybe on social media. I think people are going to want to follow you. I bet you've got a great Instagram. Tell people how they can connect, follow, and then, of course, remind people about how to invest too.
Certainly. If you're looking for hair, great hair that's lightweight, that's certified hypoallergenic, and that's eco-friendly, you're going to want to go to hairwithoutharm.com. If you just want to join our journey and go along with us as we venture out into the world and share Hair Without Harm with the community, you can follow us on Instagram or TikTok at Hair Without Harm. And most importantly, if you'd like to invest in what we're building, what we believe in, please check out our WeFunder page. That's wefunder.com/Lillian.Augusta.
Fantastic. Well, Jannice, I really appreciate the time that you've taken to be with us today. And I love, seeing all entrepreneurs succeed, but I get especially excited about women who are entrepreneurs, people who are members of, more diverse communities. You're kind of at an interesting intersection as a Black woman, and data suggests sometimes folks aren't kind to you or generous. I want to encourage the folks who look like me, especially, to tune in to learn more and to check out your WeFunder campaign. Love to see more people support you. We want to see you succeed. And I especially get excited about your eco-friendliness. All these things combine in my mind to make you just really make this a really impactful investment opportunity. And that social impact, so important to me. And I think it's important to a lot of the people in our audience. I want to encourage everybody to check this out and give this extra thought to make sure that you have fully considered this. Jannice, again, let me thank you for taking the time to be with us. We want to wish you every success.
Thank you so much.
All righty. Now, let's do some good.